Hey, this is lava. Right there.
Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's Lava Gatsby coming to you live from High Fidelity. We're about to do a podcast for you today, and yeah, I'm with a couple of good friends today. I got Ritchie Love. Ritchie Love, what's up?
How you doing?
What's up, man? What's up? What's up? I'm also with Oz. What's up, Oz?
Hey, Lava, what's going on, brother?
Yo, yo, yo. Okay, so we're in here. So what's good, man? How you guys' 2020 starting out?
Actually, very good. I'm happy. We had a comedy show last night, and it was so much fun.
Nice.
Right.
Awesome.
Comedy was fun. Oz couldn't make it. What was up with that, Oz?
2020, man. It's the beginning of a new year, So I'm gonna start seeing some. You're gonna start.
Hey,
See
but
some
he's
clear
come,
stuff
he's
over
come in
here.
the past. He's
Yeah.
been here. He's been supporting.
Yeah, I know.
That was a little. That
I'm
was an early.
supportive,
That's
bro.
that early burn, right there.
Early burn. That's why they call me Lava, because I get the early burn specials. So, no, but I'm just playing, bro. Yeah, no, it's been. Last night was cool. It was a good turnout.
Nice.
Had a funny comedians. I really liked a lot of them. What was her name? The Asian one.
Oh wow, we gotta do the fact check real quick.
Let me fact check that for you. Her name actually was at Suko Comedy on Instagram.
The Japanese.
She was my favorite. Yeah, she was. I think she was Japanese. Yeah, Japanese. Yeah, she was cool. I liked the white guy as well. What was his name?
You're killing me.
Trevor Wallace. Trevor Wallace.
Oh, I
yeah.
think he was here before, right?
No,
That's the first
no,
time.
it's first time.
Oh,
Actually, did really
I
well.
thought I saw him last time.
What are some of your favorite comedians though? Like,
Well, first of all, the show's called Love for Sale. Just
yeah,
want to let that out there. We're doing another one on
23rd
23rd.
mm-hmm.
It's a Thursday, 8 o'clock.
Nice.
Thursday, 8 o'clock.
Any cover?
Yeah, it's like $5 to get in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's super affordable, and you know what, you're getting all these up and comers. A lot of them are like doing specials from Netflix to
Comedy
HBO,
Central.
Comedy Central. So it's like they're trying their new bit here before they're getting it out there. So it's really cool. Some of them bomb, some of them don't, but I think that's the part of the process. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, what are some of your favorite comedians though? Like in the world, like in
Come on, we gotta
Comedy.
we gotta throw Chappelle out there. For
Chappelle, yeah.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart's one of your favorites.
Oh yeah,
I think his comedy is kind of.
I like it because it's very structured. He does this 1, 2, 3 thing where he's like always hitting something and then he brings it back.
Yeah.
I love when it's like this big storyline and then boom, they bring the joke from the beginning to the end and it's like, boom.
You got to see the. Did you see the documentary?
Watch some
It's
of
good.
it. Watch some
It's
of
It's
it.
good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
crazy. I think him as a person, he's cool. I think his comedy's been slacking because it's been the content. It's sort of like he's coming from like underdog. He's in a doghouse, and it's kind of hard to be in a doghouse and be like killing it. He's killing it. Don't get me wrong. But he's not
a
doing
big
what-
movie star right now, man. Shifted his focus more to
Yeah,
movies
I mean, he's
rather
doing all
than comedy.
the animation too. I mean,
Right.
you have to understand the underdog is kids. You make so much money off of kids because there's always a new kid.
Yeah.
So those cartoons and everything that Disney Plus is killing it right now.
Oh yeah.
It's insane. Like I jet went all the way back to being a kid watching all these Star Wars movies and Marvel movies and everything like in a row. Like I can't stop, you know, I'm like Jesus. You know, I'm always watching stuff with my daughter too. So it's like
you watched the new Valerian movie or show?
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. Yes,
Yeah, it's good.
I
I always
watched
say
all
that.
of
I
it.
think they're working on a new season right now
Yeah.
because that season's over. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite comedian right now?
I'm gonna say Chris D'Elia.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Chris D'Elia is probably the funniest one.
Man, that's a perfect segue because he was in that show called You, and he was, I think, a comedian in the show. I think his character's name was.
He was either a comedian
Henderson?
or an actor.
No, I think
Henderson, yeah.
Henderson, and he go by Henny or something like that.
Hendy.
Right? Hendy, something like that. And that brings me to like something that we've been talking about lately is like love versus lust. And in that show, wow, the guy is psycho. Have you watched the show?
No, I haven't.
You? To give you like just a fast version of it is that he's just super obsessed with a single girl, where he figures out where she hangs out, what she does, what her favorite things, her books, favorite flower, everything, and then he's like the perfect guy. But then like if anybody gets in the way, he gets rid of them. Like gets rid of them.
Yeah.
So I believe there's a lot of people pumping it up right now because it's like, oh my god, I wish I had a guy that just cared about me 10% like he cares
Oh, yeah.
about the girl, but then he's psycho too. So it's like,
Where is it on?
it is on Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
on the
it's.
second
I
season.
think there's a thin line between love and lust, yo.
Yeah.
Like, you could think that you like someone, but really you just like them because like they like you, type of thing, and it's not really like. Even though the relationship's not working, you still ignore all of the like red flags just because like she likes you, you know. So it's like you're just trying to get love any way you can get it, and that's when I think that's lust. But then when you love someone, it's just like unconditional, like no matter what, you fuck with them, or yeah.
You're the only one married, Oz.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get.
Love it.
I want
Tell
to.
us-
I want to
tell
know
us
more
about
about
that.
Oz though. Like
Love being
Oz.
married, man.
So Oz, where were you like where did you grow up, like type thing?
Like what place did I grow up?
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in Israel. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Only, you know, you some people they look back, they say, "Oh, my childhood was bad" and all that stuff, and I didn't like my childhood. I loved my childhood. I think it was pretty amazing.
Nice.
And then I moved here about 11 years ago.
Hmm.
So it was a big shift. I'll tell you that it's very different.
So yeah.
But I appreciate it, man. That's why I'm still here. You know, I appreciate it. I think honestly, the U.S. is the best place to be, and you have more freedom here than any other place in the world. And I think that's people that sometimes grow up here, they don't appreciate what they have, because I see it all the time. So I could say for me, it's probably one of the best places to be because first of all, there's so many opportunities here. Everybody can be successful in the United States. You can start from zero and you can become a hero here.
Yeah.
Unlike a lot of other countries, they're trying kind of like to suppress you. They're trying not to let you get ahead.
Right.
And there's too many countries like that, you know?
Tell the listeners what you do so they understand the content.
So I'm in finance. I work as a financial advisor. I've been in the industry for about 7 years.
Cool.
And I came from humble beginning. I started when I moved to the States. I worked in the restaurant industry. I did Uber for a little bit.
So you are the zero to hero.
If you want to say it,
That's good.
I mean, I feel like I'm in a good place in my life right now.
Mhm.
I've been married since 2015.
Wow.
You know, which is
Congratulations.
yeah, thanks. Which is pretty cool. You know,
That's a long time in American years.
yeah. Well, I've been with my wife originally. We've been together since 2011, which is pretty cool. So we've been together almost for 10 years.
Yeah.
What's up?
And I mean, that takes me back to what Lava was talking about earlier, love versus lust, you know? I mean, I think a lot of relationships, they start with lust when you really think about it. But as you say, you get to know the person. It's not only about physical attraction anymore. It's about you actually love them for who they are.
Right.
You know, and people go into relationships, they're looking for that perfect person. Can't find that perfect person, man.
All right.
It doesn't work like that.
You
you know?
gave us a timeline. You gave us 2011.
Right.
That's when my daughter was born. So I remember
pretty cool.
everything was going on then.
Yeah.
But if you think about it now, you didn't have to do the Tinder, the Bumble,
No shit, man.
any of that stuff. It was more organic.
Dude,
and
I
you-
met my wife. When I met my wife, we met at a friend's birthday party. I never experienced Tinder or Bumble or any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm before that stuff.
Yeah, because it was 2011.
Yeah. So I have another friend. He's like that too. He never experienced any of that stuff. When did it actually start? Like,
I
Like
think there was
2011,
yeah,
yeah.
but I think there
That's
was
when
other
Instagram
ones.
started.
I think there was other ones like called like Plenty of Fish back then,
oh, okay.
and then you were or even Christian Mingle. and eHarmony.
Oh,
And
yeah, yeah.
There was all these huge companies, and there's I remember because I pierced a lot of people, and I remember they had like a staff piercing day
Oh,
where
wow.
the eHarmony girls came to the shop and I pierced them, and I was like, "Is any of you on this? Are you on this site?" And they're like, "No," and a couple of them said yes, and I said, "Well, do you have like more of an in because you're in the company?" And they're like, "Not really. It's just kind of like if it works, it works."
Right.
And it's like I feel at the end of the day, you're gonna meet that person organically no matter what. Some people do. I mean,
No, for sure.
my friend Kat, she's gonna marry her Bumble match,
Which is great.
and they totally clicked, and they're like the perfect couple.
That's
you know,
awesome.
and it's super cool.
I think with all this online dating, we kind of lost the human connection at some place. I mean, look, it's if think about it like this: if you're dating somebody from Tinder or Bumble or any of those online dating, and you get married and you guys love each other, I've heard about like some success stories from those online dating, which is cool. I mean, if it makes you happy, that's fine. But I think a lot of us kind of lost the human connections, and I'm used to the life before. You go to the bar, you go to the club, you hit on somebody. That's what I know because that's what I was going through. Does it make sense? Or you go to a friend's, I don't know, get like gathering or something. You meet somebody, you start talking. That's what I know. I'm not very familiar with the online dating. I think it just makes it easier for this generation right now to kind of like dating. If it works for somebody, that's great. I think it's just very easy because you're not really. And look, a lot of women, they like to be desired. So they like somebody to chase them and all that stuff.
But where was the actual click when it was like, this is not lust? I met her at the cousin party, and then all of a sudden, it's not lust anymore.
So I will tell you this. And then when I met my wife, I told her, look, I don't know, I want to date some other women. At the same time, she said, no, if you're dating me, you're only dating me. I'm like, okay, I like it. That's assertive. That's cool. I'm down with that. I think it's worth it. So I'm going to give it a try. And I think kind of like that's when we get started. You know, my wife put me off a little bit in the beginning for like a few weeks. So she put me off, but then, you know, some good things are worth fighting for, and eventually turn out to be great, you know, still together, and we're very happy.
Yeah.
That's so different than the narrative that's what's going on in LA. It is so different to date in Los Angeles than that time frame. If I can date in Los Angeles in that time frame, maybe it would work out.
I'll tell you this, what I think, it's funny, but by talking to a lot of people that live in LA, I feel like LA is a very lonely city, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I feel like people here are feeling more comfortable of being in a relationship with their pet than being in a relationship with a person. I'm telling you, like sometimes you'll talk to a woman and they'll tell her, oh, like, do you have anybody? She's like, no, I'm happy going back to my cat, or I'm happy going back to my dog.
I'm not. Yo, like this is.
I don't buy that stuff, man.
Unpopular. This is a hot take, but like, yo, I do not. I like. If a girl has a dog, that's a deal breaker.
Really?
You don't like it?
I know. I'm American.
No,
and I
but check it
don't-
out. They've been doing this thing where they like put it on their profile where they said like proud dog mom.
Right.
And I was like,
It just means all right. There's levels though, because there's dog owners that have the dog because they're lonely as fuck, and like that's scary to me because like it's like you have a dog to help you. You're not trying to help the dog, and then you act like you're trying to help the dog. Like you act like you like animals, and like no, you're lonely. But then there's ones that actually like love the dog and stuff. And I know it's an unpopular opinion. I'm sorry, but like that's just how I feel.
If you want to, let's bring it up to there. I'll tell you this: some people get dogs because if you obviously you need to treat your pet like family. I have a dog. My dog is like my kid. But I'm just saying, it's not a substitute for a relationship.
Exactly.
You know, if you have a dog, a lot of people get dogs or cats also because animals like pets will love you unconditionally. And they love you unconditionally. I come home from my dog. It doesn't matter how my day was, what I said. She jumps on me right away, which is great. I love it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people don't want to get hurt, or they don't want to go. I feel like they don't want to go into a relationship because they're like, I have a dog. I would not have to deal with a heartbreak, or I would not have to deal with a pain of being in a relationship. Does it kind of make sense what I'm saying?
No, it makes perfect sense.
That's sometimes how I feel. And I feel like it's kind of bad because nobody wants to be by themselves. Even if somebody tells you, oh, I like to be single, BS. Eventually you want to be with somebody.
Yeah,
I don't buy that stuff.
For sure.
You know,
Everyone's a
so
little
that's kind
lonely.
of like my thought about it. You know.
Yeah, that's crazy though. Yeah, like if because they try to like replace you with the dog, and like so they use that energy that they have in relationships, and then they like act like the dog is supposed to replace that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
And bottom line, it won't replace it. It won't, because yeah, it's cool when you have a dog and stuff, and you should have a dog. I think pets are awesome.
What's your favorite kind of dog?
I have a golden retriever.
Oh,
It's actually on my socks. They can't see it, but it's on my socks. You know?
he has his golden retriever on his socks.
Yeah. And
What is your
and
dog's name?
Molly.
Molly.
Yeah.
Molly.
Molly, yeah.
So it's a girl.
It's a girl, yeah.
That's
And
what's
it's
up.
awesome, you know. And my wife, she grew up with no pets. I always grew up with pets. She didn't like it. I just told her one day, hey, let's go get a dog. And she's like, I don't know, and everything. Dude, she fell in love with the dog more than me. Now she likes to be around pets all the time, and it's pretty incredible.
I've
you know?
never noticed that you had your ear pierced. You have your ear
I
pierced
had.
twice.
Oh yeah, I had like right here, right here, right here, right here.
When did you get piercings?
Oh man, like I got my first piercing when I was 4 years old, man. My mom took me.
Are you
Yeah,
being serious?
yeah, seriously, man.
You have to tell.
4 years old.
4 years old,
she
man.
She did it, or she took you somewhere.
She took me somewhere.
So you're what country? Where are you at right now?
Now I'm in the U.S.
No.
Oh, in
At
Israel.
4 years old.
Yeah, I was in Israel.
So in Israel,
Yeah.
do they have like,
Dude, it was the thing, man. All my cousins, everybody had their ear pierced when they were very young, like 4 or 5 years old. But they did it with a gun. They didn't do it professionally like you do it
I know
here.
they have Claire's here. We're not supposed to say the C word. I know we have Claire's at the mall, and they use a gun.
Right.
What do you guys have? Do you
A
have to go
gun.
to a mall too, or do you
Yeah,
just
it's
go?
like you want to like. Well, I was 4 years old. We're talking about like 29 years earlier. I just said my age. It's 33. But I'm just saying. No, but I'm just saying. 29 years old. Like 29 years ago, there was. I don't think we had like a mall. There was like a jewelry store. So I just went into the jewelry store, and that guy was an idiot. Instead of, my mom told him, don't show him the gun, so he's not gonna be scared. He came up, like I turn around, I see this guy holding a gun. I just ran out of the store.
But why at 4?
I don't know. I have no idea, man. That's a question
I know,
for my
like,
mom. That's not a
like
question
in
for me.
Latina family, Latino and Latina kids, they're just always like, they pierce you when the baby's still inside the mom,
Right.
Because they like have to have earrings on that.
Well, I've seen it with a lot
Child.
of other people that they have young daughters that they take their daughters to get their ear pierced before they're even a year old.
Yes.
Like I've seen it before. I don't know. I mean, I remember we got our ears pierced very early.
So I'm at the point of where people ask me, do you pierce children, Richie? And I go, if the child is old enough to know what's going on, know how we're gonna do it, and saying yes, I want to do this, then I'll do it. And that's typically 6 years old at least, you know. But they're still like grown up girls that are like 21, 25 are getting their ear pierced for the first time. So
Yeah, no,
it's
I
like
see
all
it.
over the board, you know. But the 4 years old, wow.
What is your take on it? Like to pierce somebody when they're really young.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No. And when it comes to owning a piercing shop,
Mm-hmm.
I have it as a rule to not pierce somebody if they don't want it. So if
Right.
the parent is telling them, "Oh, you're going to get this, you're going to do that," I do it with a needle. I don't use a gun.
Right.
And
But a lot of
so
times,
I don't want them to leave with one earring.
right.
Because they're going to get a pair. They're going to get both sides done.
Right.
They have to say, okay, I got the first one. Now, are you ready for the second one? Yes. Okay, let's do it. You
But
know?
yeah, but there's a lot of little girls. Think about your daughter.
Mhm.
You know, so
she asked me.
yeah. So,
she asked me.
but a lot of times they can tell you, "Hey, I want to get my ear pierced, but I'm scared."
Yes.
So that's something you kind of have to go through. I'm like, look, you can get your ear pierced, but you have to go through that.
Well, I do a lot
Like
of
little
I do-
pain,
I
you
do
know?
a lot of almost micro things to get them prepared for it.
Right.
You know, I'm cleaning and I'm marking them, then I'm having them lay down.
Yeah.
You can't really do anything while you're laying down. You're just laying there. So
Right.
you're more docile and you're more at ease. So if I can bring anything to the listener is, you know, go to a professional piercer and
Right.
don't go to the mall, because that person's going to take more time and empathy with your child
I agree with you.
to get that piercing.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I always believe like if you want to get something done, go to a professional.
Yeah.
It's like when if you're sick, you can your parents can tell you, but they're not doctors. You need to go to the freaking doctor. If your car breaks down, you need to go to the mechanic. Does it make sense? So it's the same thing. If you want to get your ear pierced, I mean, not to offend the girl that worked at the mall, but anybody, I can even do it if I hold a gun, but it's good
hard
or not.
because
Does it make
I
sense?
asked the girl, I go, hey, can you tell me what certification or what training did you get to do these piercings? And they said, this is verbatim what she said. I have a cardboard ear, and I get the gun, and I punch all of the spots that they've dotted on this cardboard ear, and now I'm allowed to do it.
It makes me feel very confident going to the mall and getting my ear pierced.
Well, I mean, even at Walmart, they have an ear piercing kit.
Oh, shoot.
And they have a fake little certificate in the kit that says, welcome, now you're a professional piercer.
That's terrible, man.
Yeah.
I think that's terrible.
Yeah, that's crazy. 4 years old though, dang.
Yeah.
They're wild out there.
Oh, yeah, man.
So you said you're from Tel Aviv, right?
Around there.
Around there.
Yeah.
How far is that from Jerusalem?
About 30, 35 minutes.
Wow.
Is there a lot of
Public
American?
transportation, actually, it's very good over there. The train system is great. So you can take the train pretty much anywhere you go.
Is it free?
No, it's not free, man.
In some places it's free.
No, it's not free over there, but it's very good. I mean, it's a cool place. Never been. If anybody never been, they should totally go. Food is great. People are awesome. Don't believe what you see on TV. You know, it's like it's all BS.
Okay, so a lot of people will be like, 2020, we got a new year.
Right.
New year, new me, da-da-da, hashtags, everything, right? But what are you going to actually do? Are you going to lose some weight? Are you going to travel more? Are you going to start doing yoga? Like
Right.
all these people like keep saying all these things, but like
Right.
I am physically wanting to travel. Like I
Right.
want to travel so much.
Well, I'll tell you this. I think if people want to actually stay committed and they want to keep their goals, they should make little goals to hit their big goal. So if, let's say, for example, if you're saying, hey, my goal this year, just for example, is to make, say, 100 grand, right? But you only made 30 grand in your life, I think you should start setting up smaller goals to hit that big goal because you're overwhelming yourself from the beginning. I'm not saying don't dream big. You should dream big, but you should also be sometime a little bit realistic
Like it-
and
like
just try to
flat
make
points.
right. So just give yourself like, hey, like give yourself quarterly goals. I'll tell you this. I cannot focus for a long period of time, but I can focus for 90 days.
Yeah.
I always say, I can focus for 90 days. Whatever that is, you can focus for 90 days. So Richie, you could say, hey, my goal is to hit, I don't know, like in the store, $200,000 in sales for the next 3 months. Then I want to travel to Ireland, for example. You know, you could focus for the next 3 months to hit that goal. And then you're like, oh, and then you feel good when you travel to Ireland. A lot of times people set goals and they feel really bad when they do something after that because they know they didn't hit their goals.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I totally don't believe
That's
also
a
in
really that's a really good view on it. Like,
Right.
what would you want to do in the next 90 days?
The next 90 days. Well, what I do is I make to-do lists and I have a calendar and like I have a schedule and the next 90 days, it's just building. It's building on top of what I'm building in a way. Like I'm building I literally stare at a yearly calendar. And I just like, okay, so today I'm going to research. I have to research this computer. I have to sign and fill out a form and send it away. I have to go to home for lunch and change. I have
Do
to
you
mix
think a
and
lot
match
of
or
people
something.
make lists?
I think a lot of people do. They make like New Year resolutions and all that stuff, but they kind of forget about it by February. Look at the gym. You go to the gym right now, it's the busiest place on the planet, but you go in February. That's the best time to sign up to the gym in February because that's when everybody is like gone already.
Yeah.
Because people all the time, they're looking for those immediate results. Doesn't work like that in life. Even building a business or something like that, sometimes it takes a long period of time to make it. Look, I'll ask you this. If you're starting a business right now and it takes you 10 years to make $1 million, are you feeling bad about it?
No.
Not really, because you're like, nobody. Most people are never going to make $1 million. Does it make sense? So even I'll tell you this: even if it takes you 15 years to make $1 million, it's still okay.
I almost said,
You know?
I almost said yes. I would be feeling bad because I was like, I should be there.
Right?
So I was
$1 million
just like,
like
I don't want to take 10 years to make $1 million.
$1 million
Right,
a
but-
year?
$1 million a year. to
I'll
your
wait
pocket.
10 years for that.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, think about it compared to somebody that work in a job that they're going to make for the next 40 years, maybe 50, 60,000. There's no room to grow over there.
Yeah.
Does it kind of make sense?
Yeah.
But you're like, hey, I have a business here. I'm expected for this business to grow. I'm expected to this business to make money. Most businesses at the beginning, they're struggling. There's nothing wrong with that stuff. That's how it is. You just put yourself out there,
You're
you know?
a financial advisor, right?
I am, yeah.
And it's tax season's coming up. So
Right.
when do you start like getting ready for that?
I think people should start. Well, I'm not a tax professional, but I'll tell you this: I think you should start being prepared by the end, like getting close to the end of like previous year.
Right. So like
and
February.
I would say, well, I mean, you should be ready by the end of December because most people get their stuff by the end of January, kind of like beginning of
Right.
January, so they can start filing their taxes.
And what do you mean get their stuff? Like get
Like
their
they get
checks,
their like pay stub.
receipts?
Like yeah, they get like your
W-2s.
W-2s or your 1099s or whatever.
I think it's very situational.
Right.
I mean, talk to other people and they're like, when do you have it together? It's like, or do you have money saved aside, or like
Right.
all those things. And there's all these like mini rules that a lot of people don't know. They're
Right.
say one of them would be you should have 6 months of your rent in.
Oh yeah,
in your
I agree with
savings.
you. I
And
agree with
people
you.
don't. Like they don't at all.
Yeah, the 6-month rule.
Oh yeah, you should
That's a good
because it's the funny thing is if I'll give you some stats, 90% of Americans right now has less than $4,000 to their name, which is you think about it, it's pretty sad. Like $4,000, it's really enough maybe for like a month, and then after that, then what? You're out in the streets. What if you get laid off? What if you get sick? What if some emergency comes up? You want to make sure you have something on the side. That's why we push people to do that stuff all the time. It's just most people they rely on credit cards.
Yeah.
You know, and people don't understand. You kind of have to pay it back because you're borrowing money from somebody else, and you pay it back. But a lot of time you pay it with such a high interest that people are unable to get out of that cycle of like debt. You know, it's like, oh, I'm doing the same stuff. I'm like, dude, you're doing the same stuff. Don't expect any changes. Like the definition of insanity is just doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
I like the credit
know?
cards that have the points. So if
Right.
you get to a point that you are traveling,
Right.
you have those flyer miles,
Right.
which is
I love it too.
Amazing.
I'm with you on that stuff. But this is what I say, look, if you're good with credit cards and you pay it off on time and all that stuff, that's cool and everything. But if you're not paying it off, then it's not really worth it because you're not enjoying, first of all, you're not enjoying the points. You're getting a lot less points for not paying back. And then secondly, you're just putting yourself in the hole. You're digging that hole more and more. Does it make sense? Look, I traveled to Italy last year, 2019. It's so funny to say last year. But I traveled to Italy for free from points. Does it make sense? So I'm saying if you know how to take advantage of that stuff, by all means, go ahead and do it. If you don't, then don't do it because some people are just not good with credit cards. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just some things were good or not. We just need to know how to use them
Know yourself.
responsibly. Does it make sense?
I mean, what we're getting out of this is make your list.
Right.
Don't put yourself in debt.
Exactly.
Have money set aside for
Emergency.
emergency
Yeah.
and travel.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
keep learning every day. Like research, just keep doing research and seeing how you could organize your life better. And that's what I do. I just like YouTube, watch how to do all this.
Look, I will tell you this. Everybody is, if you're over 18, you're a freaking adult. You should start figuring out your life.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you want people to treat you like an adult, then act like one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's funny. But I'm saying, look, at least have some goals in 2020 and try to shoot for something. It's okay if you don't hit all your goals.
What are your goals for 2020?
You know, hey man, my goal is to open another office and to get more people promoted in our office. You know, I think a lot of time your goals should not, or your reasons in life should not be about yourself. Because I mean, it's fine. You need to be successful to help other people be successful. I'm totally on with that stuff. But I'm saying a lot of times people's reasons in life are not themselves. Like I'm pretty sure like Ritchie is like, hey, I want my store to be successful so I can give the best life for my daughter. More than I can do it for myself. Doesn't make sense? Because a lot of us we say, oh, we didn't have that stuff. I want to give that stuff for my kids. Does it make sense?
I think this year too. I mean, I think all of us are gonna feel this.
Yeah.
Is that we want to make more memories with people too.
Right.
Because I mean, there's so many years that I just slaved and worked and worked and worked,
Right.
and I had no memory of that year. It was just paying bills, doing the same thing, and you go home and you're like, what is my life?
Yeah.
And I mean, you can contest. I'm trying to make so many events and
Right.
so many things because people love to laugh. They love music. I mean, that's one thing that I want to do is go to concerts with my friends and family.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I went to a reggae festival with my mom. That was so cool.
That's
I
awesome.
never thought I was going to be around all those weed
Yeah.
smokers with my mom.
Yeah.
And she was just like, I love this. It was one of her things on her bucket list.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you doing a
Life.
bucket list for? But she was like, well, I'm young now and you can get me around places, so let's do this, you know?
Yeah.
No, I gotta say,
Go ahead.
like sorry, Leva, but I gotta say I'm really proud of Ritchie. I see this guy grow for the past 3 years, and it's so awesome to see him have place of his own,
Yeah.
and he's kind of building his legacy, and he's building his family wealth, and he's doing stuff for his own. He doesn't do it. He's building his own dreams, not other people.
Yeah.
You know, it's so happy to see that stuff, and I always tell him every time I see him, I'm like, so proud of you, man. I'm like it looks great every time I come into the shop. I'm like, it looks incredible.
You know what's crazy
You know?
is that I never told you. Me and this guy met in an Uber.
Yeah,
And we were like, oh, let's get coffee. We met in an Uber.
Oh wait, this is the guy that you were like, yeah, he's super smart. I need to get your number. You're super smart. I need to get your number.
Yeah, and then we went to coffee. Boom, boom, boom.
yeah,
Went to coffee
Dang.
again, and then like.
Oh,
friend-
you were his Uber driver.
yeah. That was like over 3 years ago.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that was I was kind of like getting my feet in the business and all that stuff.
But do you know what it was though? Is that he was smart. He was working, and then he was collecting new clients by
Yeah.
driving around, getting to know the city. I think that's super intelligent. There's another
Like, do you
person I
still-
met that did the same thing. He had a job too, but
Yeah.
he liked to drive, and he was a voiceover, and I knew his voice. I was like, how do I know this guy's voice? And then he puts on his reel.
Uh-huh.
You know, I have to have a reel of all the things. He's done talk about commercial, this commercial, and then it goes El Telemundo, and I'm like, I used to listen to that all the time because like my grandma would have it on the background. I'm like,
That's crazy.
When was that?
he's actually a Salvadorian too.
Oh, okay.
So like, do you still keep that same energy though, from when you were when you first started like doing the Uber thing and like getting like clients every day, hustling, meeting new people? Are you still like going like? 100?
Let me ask you this: if I'll tell you right now, hey, Leva, you have an opportunity to work 10, 15 years hard, and you'd never have to work again if you don't want to.
Yeah, I'm. For
Would you
sure
do that?
going- I'm going 200% all day. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So for me, the way I look at that stuff, I mean, I haven't been doing. I think the last time I did an Uber ride was maybe 4 years ago, because it's been a very long time since I did it. I don't need to do it. My business is doing very well, but I think people should do whatever helps their business grow. Obviously, it has to be legally and morally right. And you kind of have to, dude. You gotta get creative a little bit. And you gotta hustle, man. Yeah, of course. So I'll tell you this. One of my things is I actually go to South LA. I volunteer with some nonprofit organization, LA All Stars, great organization. They're really out there and helping kids out. But one of our projects that we're working on for the past couple of years is I go to South LA and I teach high schoolers about financial education. So I teach them about stuff that they're never gonna learn in college or anywhere. So we teach them like concepts that they can use for life, you know, and we teach them how to, and we actually show them how we can do like a financial needs analysis for them and how much they spend and what they bring in and how they can budget better and all that stuff. Dude, it's skills that you're going to learn for life.
They
You
need
know?
to start doing that with cooking. I don't know anybody who knows how to cook right now.
Oh shit, they need to bring home, what is it called?
Home economics.
Economics.
Yeah.
Shit, man, that's like the best thing, man. Or shop.
Yeah, shop. It was
Dude.
that was the best I hit out there because we can like make things and like carve with wood and
Right.
weld with, you know, it was just so it was fun. High school was fun, and I
Right.
think it was because it was before the like big internet.
Dude, people
You know?
today, I'm telling you, like you look at this generation, I'm gonna call them out, but they don't want to do shit, man. They don't want to do any physical work. And I'll tell you this: these days, if you become an electrician, a plumber, you're gonna make a lot of money because nobody wants to do that stuff. People don't take pride in those things. I know plumbers and electricians that are making millions of dollars a year. Everybody want to sit in a freaking desk today in an office. They're not willing to put themselves out there. Everybody wants to be a YouTuber. Everybody wants to be like a freaking like a blogger and all that stuff. And I'm like, dude, the real I'm telling you, the real work that will pay is a lot of physical work. The physical work will pay a lot of money because you can replace those people. You can replace a plumber. You have to. I can't have a robot come to my house and fix my plumbing. Somebody actually have to come in and do that stuff.
Yes.
Soon though, it's gonna get like that.
I don't
scary.
think, dude. I don't think. I'll be honest with you. I don't think those jobs are ever gonna go away. I think those jobs are always gonna be there. You know, I know a lot of accountants that are losing their jobs these days because a lot of computers can do what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have apps for like.
Yeah, they have everything right now.
They have some accounting apps.
They do. I mean, all of our stuff. Okay, so not to give numbers or anything, but like all of our stuff goes through a system, and then it gets computed through QuickBooks, and then it'll say, "Do you allow this to be this thing?"
Yeah.
It'll be like, say, Stark Industries, and we bought a missile, and it'll be like that much money, you know. And so it's already there. So then we just hand that to an accountant, which I don't really know. I guess because they gotta like double check everything we do to make sure we're not screwing ourselves over.
No, think about it like this. You can even do your taxes by yourself. If your taxes are pretty simple, you can just do it yourself. You can go with, I think there's like some softwares on the computer. You can go in and do it yourself.
TurboTax, yeah.
Yeah, TurboTax and all that stuff will save you a lot of money.
I don't know, but do you suggest that? Like if someone is just a normal
If
guy
your stuff is very basic and you just work in a job on a W-2, yeah, why not? I mean, you don't have any write-offs or anything like that. If you're
this year, bro, my bad. This year I worked I got a normal W-2 job.
Right.
It was a background actor, so I was acting, but I was also I also had a feature though too. I'm not just a background. And then I also
don't tell me you're doing some adult stuff.
Nah. I'm not no Adam 22, but
oh, okay.
Yeah, I also like do music too, like sell beats and stuff. So like,
Nice.
How could the tax? I definitely shouldn't do TurboTax, right? I should go like pay.
It really depends. If you have a bunch of stuff, it's better for you to go to a professional. If you have 1099s and you have W-2s and all that stuff, yeah, because you can write off a lot of things. But if you're just working in a job, one job, and you have one income,
for sure,
and you could just go TurboTax. Like, I mean, somebody like Ritchie right now start a business, he's gonna have to go to a professional. He's gonna have to have an accountant. So he's like, oh, this is my stuff, and he's gonna have to write off a lot of stuff and everything. That's what I do for years, you know. But if your stuff is very simple, I wouldn't spend too much money because they give you W-2, you put it in the system, and it shows you how much money you have to pay or how much money you get back. That's it. It's very simple. You know, it will save you a lot of money. You know?
Do you want to know something that's really crazy? Back in the early 2000s, I was piercing, and I was 1099, so I'm an independent contractor, and it was so crazy. We tried to find all the loopholes that I can get written off because I got all of my equipment, all of this and that. And it was funny because the lady was such a G. Like, she was so smart. She goes, well, how many tattoos do you have? And I joke and I say one because I have so many. They're just all meshed together. And I go, I don't know. She was like, well, how much do you think their worth is? I said, maybe like $3,000-$4,000. She was like, okay, cool. We're gonna write that off on your taxes as advertisements.
Oh, that's cool.
So we did that for like 3 years. She's like, I can't do it anymore because,
Well, you can actually do it with suits. Mm-hmm. So if you buy a suit and you have your name in the suit or on the suit, you can actually write the suit off.
Wow.
Yeah, but you have to have your suit. So if, let's say you have a team, like let's say, for example, this business right now, you start creating shirts of the business to your employees. You can write off the shirts because it's a part of the business expense because those people are walking around, they're doing publicity, they're wearing the shirts.
And like food and stuff too.
Oh, food, yeah, that's like
that's
one
normal.
of the big things. Food, traveling, yeah.
So all those freaking acai bowls are gonna get written off.
Yeah, I mean, if obviously I'm not a tax professional, so I can't give advice on that stuff, but I can tell you this: if you need to go to a good tax professional, a tax preparer or a CPA or something like that, they know that stuff like ins and out. They will tell you exactly what you can and what you can't write off.
Bro, I have a great question. Where is like the best place to find a tax professional? Like, because you can't like, because going into H&R Block just seems like
They're actually not bad.
yeah.
They're not bad. H&R Block, they're not bad. I've heard they're okay. I think a lot, like the way I got my guy was through a referral. So I'm always saying, look, if we know somebody's good, I always tell people, support your friends' businesses like you support those athletes and people that you don't even know.
Right.
So if, for example, let's say, for example, I would be looking for a DJ and I would prefer to refer you to somebody instead of telling somebody, oh, go one of those biggest companies. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm saying if we want to support small businesses all the time, which you should, you always should support small businesses or your friends and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I would rather refer to somebody that I know that they're doing a good job rather than have somebody start looking for somebody and they have to pay a lot of money. Does it kind of make sense?
We'll talk after the podcast. I need to know
Yeah, we'll
some
talk after
CPAs.
after the podcast about that
CPAs.
stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what's up.
One
bro.
question that I have too is that what do you do when you're making money in different countries?
That's a good question, man, for a CPA. Not for me,
That's
man.
what I'm like. Wow, like what do you do
What do you
for
mean?
taxes? Like if you're making money in like say you get a check from
Yeah, I was making money. I was out in Belgium. Just to wrap it, just to like link everything up. Like I was living in Belgium, and I met a girl online, which was so not organic. And I moved to Belgium and moved in with her for 2 years. And I was living out there, and I was working, delivering Uber Eats and stuff. But mainly I was just studying music. But I would do Uber Eats just to pay bills. And yeah, like you still get the tax, bro. If you live out there, like. And you worked, you put in work for the country, you get the money that you earned in taxes, and that's that.
But you didn't have to file taxes in the U.S. though, because you didn't work in the U.S., right?
But I did though, in the same
Oh.
quarterly year or the same
But
year.
only for the stuff that you only have to pay tax for the work that you put in the U.S., not the work that you put in while you were in Belgium.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was
So
asking.
yeah, Belgium's paying me taxes.
Right.
Tax returns,
Yeah.
and then U.S. is gonna pay me tax returns.
Right. Yeah.
and
That makes sense.
And then he's gonna be hood rich. He's gonna be like
I'm about to have the euros and the bill and the freaking dollars.
The rules in other countries are very different than here. I think if you have some questions for what's going on like in other countries, I think even Google will give you actually a decent answer too. Because like I mean, there's answer for everything, especially for stuff like that.
For sure.
You know, just
We
to
were
know.
just talking about that like one annoying friend that like they have like a like they that friend that asks you a question and knowing that you could Google it.
Right.
Like just Google it, bro. Like that's the normal question. Does that ever annoy you? Like when do you ever just find yourself being like, bro, just Google it? Like
Yeah, I would tell
or do
people
you
sometimes
seem
to Google.
kind
it.
of like answering.
I like
Google
questions, but I'll tell you this: if it's a question that the answer is obvious, I'm like, you can go online and find it.
if it's too obvious.
Yeah, but think about it like this: these days it's so easy to get answers because before years ago, somebody would ask you a question or you would want to find something. Sometimes it would take you 2 to 3 days to find it.
Yeah.
Now you can just find it with like 20 seconds.
I think I was talking to somebody the other day about that. They're like, where did you get all your information before? And I was like, I just either ask my grandpa, my dad, or my mom.
Right.
Or my friend's parents. And
Right.
if they had bad advice, that was
That was the advice.
That's what I got.
And satisfaction, it's like literally like so fast. Like we used to go on journeys. We used to even say journeys, like
Yeah.
because it took like 3 days for your brain to have a what's it called when your brain has an orgasm? What's it called? Like a
braingasm.
a braingasm or something.
Epiphany?
But like, epiphany, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, so like it took us days, bro. But now we get that, boom. Oh, I want to know what it's like in Israel. Like, I could just open my
Right.
phone.
It's
Just
a-
You
go
could
on a
actually
virtual
see how it
tour.
looks like. You
Yeah.
could see any country how it looks like.
Why do I
If you
gotta
go on
go? I
that,
just
that
can see.
Google, the Google, not the
Earth.
maps, the Google Earth, you could literally see where it is because they have cameras literally
Yeah.
everywhere, so you can pinpoint
And
something
then
on
the
the map. and you
virtual
can see it.
goggles are coming. too.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
So you're gonna go there.
People wouldn't want to travel at this point. They're
Have
like,
you guys
shit,
ever
man, I
seen
can be
that
there.
movie?
Smell-o-vision?
No. Have you ever seen that movie, Ready Player One?
Yeah.
Where
This
they
is
all
tight.
like put on the goggles, the hands, and they're in virtual world.
That's
And it's
gonna be
like
so
insane
dope.
because it's like, would you ever leave your house other than to eat
No.
if you can just go anywhere you want?
Shit, these days you don't even have to leave your house to eat.
That's
Dude,
true.
soon that's gonna be like a freaking crazy thing leaving your house. It's gonna be like, what the? We're out here like with real people. Like it's gonna be like
Right.
deserted out here. or
I
some
like
shit.
Back in the Future.
Terminator.
Back to the Future. They were like, and in the future, we run for fun.
Run for fun? I remember that. Run for fun. Who runs for fun?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was so funny.
But
There's-
2020, man, it's like the future. We're in the future.
Yeah, bro. I fuck. You guys like sci-fi movies?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it's
sci-fi a
awesome,
lot.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the Netflix shows that you guys are watching nowadays?
Shoot. Right now, I'm not even on Netflix. I'm on
Yo.
Disney Plus a lot.
Yo,
Oh,
what
Disney
about-
Plus is Disney Plus.
What
is
are
the
you
best,
watching?
man. You know, it's kind of hard. I don't watch that much TV.
That's what I thought.
Um,
Do you read or something?
I do. I read a lot of self-development books that can help you
Self-developments.
improve yourself. But I do watch some stuff. There's some specific shows that I'm waiting for them to come back, like The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
I always love The Walking Dead.
Yes.
And then I know Richie and I were talking about the Stranger Things before.
Oh, yeah.
Stranger
And
Things,
dude,
yeah.
that's the show is. And another show that Richie actually introduced me is 13 Reasons Why.
Oh, yeah.
And they're
Ooh.
coming up with an
Oh, that was
last season,
I
which
was
is crazy.
finishing watching the first season when I was in Hawaii,
Right, that's true. I remember you told me
and
about it.
and I was like, it was so funny because my whole family were all just like tearing up and crying, and we're all like supposed to be on vacation, happy. We're all crying
Yeah.
over this show.
Man, that's some like
Yeah,
that's
deep.
some mad
Suicide
stuff. over
is
there.
is very sad.
Right, it
Suicide
is.
is very sad, and a lot of these big stars right now are overdosing and or suicide, and like it's just so sad because it's like so much talent wasted.
Absolutely.
And I feel like if we can do anything, it would be to strengthen people to understand finances,
Right.
strengthen people's self-esteem and worth, and to like get people on good paths to like get something going with their lives.
Right.
Mental health, man.
Mental health is very
Mental
important.
health is super important,
Just check on people, call them for
Yeah.
no reason.
And check on yourself first, so you can check on people. Like
Absolutely.
you said,
You-
like
you
you
need
have
to
to
be-
be
you need to be
successful
good, yeah.
to help other people. You have to help yourself first.
Absolutely.
Reading self-development books, that's a good way. Eating healthy, working out, writing in a journal, and telling you and just reminding yourself, like, yeah, you've been through some shit, but you're still here, and like you could keep
Right.
going. Like, don't live in the past because the past is the past. Like
It
yeah.
is. It's in the past already.
Like
Eh,
before 18, like yeah, you didn't choose your family,
Right.
all of that. But after you're 18, you're grown up. You have to like start reversing all of the chemical imbalances that you got from Earth and from like life and stuff.
No, for sure. And everybody deals with shit in their life. We all go through stuff. Hey man, you just have to and you don't have to go through that stuff alone too.
Yeah.
You can always seek for help, and you can always find somebody to help you out. Does it
Yeah.
make sense? I think everybody can find somebody to help them out.
I think that people should almost hyper focus on finding a mentor too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because
Of course.
sometimes your parents are not your mentors.
Exactly.
I'm not saying mine aren't. I'm just saying some people, I'll be like, well, can you ask your dad about it, or can you ask your mom about it? And they're like, well, they're not around, or they don't care. I'm 18 or I'm
Right.
older, so I'm not their problem anymore. I think that you should try to find somebody in the industry or
Right.
whatever you like that is been through it, so they can coach you.
I think that's one of the best things I was saying here today, because look, if you want to start any type of business, but your parents were never business owners, or your family, nobody had a business owner, it's even if you're going to go to them for an advice, that's not going to be a good advice. That's my opinion. But I think you should find somebody that already did that and been successful in it, and just ask them to give you an advice or what to do, or how, at least how to get started.
Yeah.
So you can kind of like get an idea of what to do. Like that's how I started. I had no idea, but I had somebody mentored me in the business and teach me. And I still go back to that person. And then as you go, you don't only have one mentor, you can have a few mentors,
Yeah.
which is it's totally fine. You know, so later on in life, once you're successful, you can become a mentor for somebody else. Does it make sense? And kind of like pay it forward. You know, because eventually think about it like this. Yeah, let's say one day you are successful and you have all the money in the world and you're doing very well. Then what? You're going to have to do something, because you're going to have to find a new thing in your life, something that will fulfill you, because you're like, oh, I achieved the stuff that I wanted to achieve. And money, money is super important. Don't get me wrong. I think everybody should have a lot of money and you should be rich. But at the same time, it's not going to fulfill you to the point.
Yeah, I feel like
You know?
you get to these spots where you find somebody that is in every department. If you need to talk to somebody about money, then you
Right.
talk to that person as a mentor. But like spiritually, I always talk to my mom. My mom,
That's awesome.
She is smart about money, but she is more spiritual. So I would love to just, this is what's going on with me emotionally. This is what's going on in my head. This is what my dreams and aspirations are. And she'll be more of that hugging person,
Yeah.
opposed to, well, how much money do you have, and this, and how are you going to break it down over the weeks? No,
Right.
we don't talk like that. We talk about, are you good? And I think when you get a mentor or you get somebody like that, you find other people that almost complete your other departments.
Right.
Guidance is definitely key. Like all the dumb stuff that I did when I was younger, it was because I didn't have guidance. And and not only guidance is, you said, a mentor, not only business mentor, but you need a spiritual mentor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You need someone
Yeah.
to guide you spiritually, because not to get all freaking woke or whatever, but we really are spiritual beings in a physical body. So you need, you can't sleep on that. You can't sleep on all the little stuff that you have to do during, that's why you said 90 days. You could do it 90 days.
Yeah.
You could put yourself to, you could set a 90-day goal.
Right.
And I believe in 90-day goals for sure. Set a 90-day goal, but really priority is 1-day goals.
I'll give you
Just
also,
1 days.
I'll put it up there. There's a book. It's called a 90-day year. It's teaches people how to achieve a year worth of goals in 90 days. So they teach you kind of how to break it down, 90 days, how to break them, how your daily goals, your day become a 3-day, your 24 hours become a 3-day, it breaks, try to explain.
It's compresses it.
Compresses time frames, yeah, but your day becomes like a 3-day in 1 day. So every 6 hours you have a day. That's how you kind of set it up. Of course, you have to sleep.
It's funny
You know?
is that everybody that comes here, especially the comedy, we have 2 hosts. They're like, wow, every single time we come here, something is different.
Right.
Because we evolve this place so much every single time. So I'm feeling like sometimes I don't do enough, and then I get that. Whereas people are like, oh wow, you always we're adding or doing something. And I just can't. I feel that sleep is very important when it comes to being productive in the day.
Absolutely.
Some people say they don't dream. I dream all the time. Sometimes I dream so much that I'm doing what I'm gonna be doing while I'm awake that I feel like I already did it. It's kind of insane because my brain is just always go 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 go, even when I'm sleeping.
Have you ever tried to analyze your dreams?
Oh,
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
Let's
crazy.
talk a little bit about psychedelics.
What?
You guys into psychedelics? Have you ever tried any?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Seems like you haven't.
I don't know when lava is serious or not, man.
Nah, yeah, I'm serious, bro. You never tried it? You never
No,
tried
never.
psychedelics?
No.
I don't think
Wow.
there was. I don't. There's
Am
not
I
a
like-
lot in that country, huh?
What?
I think is that more American? No, I think England does a lot too.
Mushrooms. No.
Oh, they do everywhere.
We just
Yeah,
don't-
everywhere.
I
we
just
don't hear
Dude,
about
I don't
it.
go to raves. I don't go to any of those.
You don't smoke weed.
No, I don't.
Drink.
Never smoked in my life, man.
Never drank.
I drink sometimes.
What do you drink?
Jameson.
Nice.
Hey, man, I have a rule. I only drink when I'm on vacation out of the country, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang, you're a straight edge.
I'll tell you this. This is the thing. Look, let's say Ritchie is a client. Ritchie is my client, right? And he follows me on Instagram. That's the way I see it. And let's say I post up, I'm drinking, having fun, looking like a dumbass.
Yeah.
This guy would say, hey, this guy has my money.
Mm.
I wouldn't want my financial advisor on there flexing and stuff.
So I would just say, I gave this idiot my money, and look how he's looking. Look, I think honestly, a lot of times it's fine to mix up your personal life and business life. That's fine. That's okay a lot of times. But I'm saying, if you're doing some stuff that people follow you and people kind of look up to you in some place, they see that stuff and they say, "Oh man, like." So it kind of disappoints some people.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you on the other side of the token, okay? Do you think it's right for you or me to hire somebody, but before you hire them, you go through the process of doing application, then you interview, but then go search their social media to see if they're like that, if they party a lot, if they're the same person? Do you think that's right that people do that in jobs now?
No, I don't think so, because they might be phenomenal workers, and their personal life is their personal life. Look, as long as they're not criminals.
So you're just choosing.
I choose myself because of my background.
You can choose what to post and not to post.
Exactly.
So you can be drinking all the time
But look, we're coming in. I guess maybe because we're in a different industry, but I tell you this: a lot of people that work with me and work in my type of business, they don't post up stuff like that on social media, right? Yeah. If you're in the entertainment industry or any type of other industry, people post up a bunch of stuff all the time. So you can't. I don't know. I don't like to prejudge people.
Not only do you not show it on Instagram, but you don't do it. You don't even. You don't even drink or smoke or do anything.
So. No, I don't do any of that. Look, I honestly I don't smoke because I just don't like smoking. I don't like the smell of it. I don't like it gets to your clothes. I just don't like it myself. Yeah, does it make sense? I mean, I know a lot of women that don't like to date guys that smoke too.
Yeah. It's a smoke thing. It's a smoke thing. Yeah, I feel it. So I
feel like, look, you should be responsible. You're an adult, man. Doesn't make sense. You're an adult. You should know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Doesn't make some people post up stuff on their social media that's illegal. That they can even get in trouble for even posting that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If because I'll tell you this: FBI, CIA, they always look at that stuff. Yeah. Like all those, like police, they look at that stuff. They're looking for those things.
Yeah.
So if you're doing stuff that's illegal on social media, don't be surprised if somebody will come knocking on your door later on.
Yeah.
But I am saying that in general, you should be responsible, and a lot of time people envision you in some way. So if your clientele is one type of clientele, it's a whole different story. But if your clientele is very different, it's kind of hard, because a lot of, for example, older generation, they don't like to see things like that.
Right.
Younger generation, some of them, they understand, but a lot of older generation, they didn't grow up like that. They don't come from those places. So they're gonna say, "Wow, look at this person. I thought this person is a serious person, and look how they look like."
Thanks, man.
Does it make sense?
That's real, Oz. Yeah. Yo, so this podcast, we also want to sort of find a way to give back to the listeners. So, like, I was thinking we could, if the listener have any, if you're going through anything business-wise or life-wise, to DM the Instagram or email us and let us know, and we'll try to see what we could come up with to help you with what you're going through. And yeah, it was great having you, Oz.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Cool talking to you.
Happy to be here, man.
We hope to have you again.
Yeah, for sure.
And
it was fun.
Yeah, we're gonna start doing these podcasts weekly. So tune in. And, stay classy.
Awesome.